Hello and welcome back to the third episode of Down the Rat Hole, a podcast where we deep dive into some crazy stories on the internet. Today we have William.
Hello.
Will I am.
Not Bill.
Oh.
Just Will.
Today's theme is revenge. How do you feel about that? You think that's going to be silly? I think it's going to be silly.
This could go a lot of different ways.
I have a lot of different ways that this has went.
Good. Revenge is always interesting to hear about.
Also, I did want to make a disclaimer. I know that I'm bad at reading out loud, and you're probably thinking, why are you doing this? And I have the same question, I don't know. I'm horribly dyslexic. I am a dyslexia survivor. I fight it every day.
A veteran.
I fight the dyslexia hard every day, and one day I will beat it, and I will be cured, and I hope you're all here to witness it. Are you dyslexic?
Yes.
Okay.
Not bad.
We flock together. Okay. Story number 1. Am I the asshole for struggling to forgive my husband for his petty revenge on me? I feel crazy. What do you think so far? Just from the title.
Husband got petty revenge. She probably did something absolutely crazy. And he was like, nuh-uh. And now she's just pissed off about it.
Also, this is from r/AITAH. Am I the asshole hole? Okay, let's get into it. Husband, 34 male, and I, 32 female, have been married 6 years. 2 months ago, I stopped him from going on a bachelor's trip with his long-term school friends. I was okay and was kind of looking forward to him having fun until I learned he hid the fact that they would be doing a lot of adult-themed activities, think strippers and happy end massages, as part of their itinerary. It caused a huge fight, as we've always maintained that it is a deal breaker for me, and the fact that he hid it from me made it worse. He argued that he only did it because of his tendency to overreact, or because of my tendency to overreact. And of course, he wouldn't engage in those activities, but that didn't mean he couldn't go. I would have been fine with him going if he had told me about their itinerary and trusted the fact that he would keep away. What he did broke my trust, and the only way I could see him earning it back is if he voluntarily told his friends that he couldn't come, which he did. At the time, he looked really apologetic and we made up. He took me shopping and all was good. I bought some fashionable outfits and was looking to wear them ahead of summer. Where we live, it was still a little cold, and I didn't get to immediately dress up in the clothes I just bought. Also, most of my summer clothes had shrunk in the washer, so I practically only had my oversized casuals and these clothes I had just bought. A few weeks later, it starts to get warmer, and as I slip into my new dress, it feels tight. I'm confused. I just tried them on in the store, and I'm a size 14, as the label on the dress said. So no, I didn't get the size wrong from the store. Then another dress was tight. Same with pants and other tops. I started feeling crazy. Had I just put on so much weight in a matter of a few weeks that my new dresses didn't even fit? I've always been a bit sensitive about how my body looks, and I remember telling my husband how excited I was about these new clothes and that they look so flattering on me. I felt good in all of them, and now they look so hideous on me. I start crying on the floor. I'm too embarrassed to tell my husband all of this. I thought he must have noticed if I'd put on weight. I was a wreck. I was feeling crazy for a few weeks now. Even the clothes that I had bought before felt tighter. I don't know if it was placebo or really, but it didn't help. My husband, a few days ago, during our dinner, said he wanted to confess something. He was snickering while saying this, and what he said absolutely crushed me. He said that while I was gone to see my sister, who had just had a baby, for a week, he had secretly taken all of my outfits that he knows I routinely wear and gave them to the local tailor to make them a size or two smaller. He said he paid them generously to stitch things faster. And he said, sorry, but it felt like a funny payback for what I had done stopped him from going on a trip. I said it wasn't funny, he made me feel crazy, and I was crying and screaming at this point. He severed my sense of self and made me feel ugly. Eventually, I tried to be okay, but I am not. I'm still reeling from what he did as petty revenge. It's been some time since he confessed and offered to get them stitched back to the original size. I'm struggling with what he just did. I want to forgive him. I never knew how resentful he was of me about going on that trip. Maybe it's my fault. I should have been more trusting. I knew he could never cheat. In my heart, I knew he would keep away. And from his point of view, his petty revenge on me probably feels deserved. I would be mad too if he stopped me from doing something I was really looking forward to. But still, if you were me, how would you feel? Has anyone had their spouse do petty revenge on them? That is beyond petty
That's,
revenge.
yeah.
That is insane.
He could have avoided all of this by just telling her that there were going to be strippers and massages
Yeah.
involved.
Okay, that's like your first issue is that you guys are
Yeah.
just getting married and he's already lying to you. You need to take that at face value and realize that he's going to lie to you about everything.
Yeah. And
Because
if he has a tendency to overreact, it's probably because he's
it's probably
keeping
because
stuff from
he's a
her.
gaslighter and he's
Yeah.
making her feel insane when she's not.
Yeah. Like the thing with the clothes,
Because like
tell her
he
after like
knew
a couple days. Don't wait like what, weeks?
a week or two.
Yeah.
Okay, but the thing is, he knew that she has body image issues, and he
Still
knew
did that.
like he's paying attention enough to know like what outfit she's wearing and all of that, but is using it for evil basically.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how I would react to that. I probably not well.
Oh no, I would be livid. I'd be
Yeah.
very pissed off.
That's insane and so manipulative. Like, and he even paid them more to get it done quicker. What the fuck?
I want to know how much he paid.
No comments from OP and no update, I don't think. Account has been suspended. Okay. That I hope that woman is well. And
That's just wild.
that's just like an insane level of gaslighting.
Yeah.
Holy
Like she needs to get out of that relationship yesterday.
Yeah, for sure. That one really shocked me.
Yeah, no, she's not the asshole.
Yeah, not the asshole. I forgot it was
He's-
even a
yeah,
am I the
he's
asshole
the asshole.
question.
He is the
He's
asshole.
the fucking gaslighter narcissist that needs to like get out of her life. Okay. Let's get on to story number 2, I guess. Would I be the asshole for planting prickly bushes in my front yard to keep the neighbor's kids from my property? And this is a throwaway, but I have realized that the username is Cactus Lover Forever. So
Apt.
I think that's pretty good. I moved into a detached townhouse a few months ago. It's a rental. I'm leasing it for a year with the option to extend that with the second year or possibly buy the house. My driveway is right next to the neighbor's. It's big enough to fit 2 regular-sized cars, and halfway down my driveway there's a path leading around my house. On the side of the path is my house, and the other side's about 3 meters of the yard that's mine. Ever since I moved in, I've been having issues with the neighbors using my driveway for parking, turning their cars, storing their other stuff, playing, etc., etc. Asking them to stop it and keep their items on their own property has not worked, so I placed a few large plants, installed a camera, and a no trespassing sign, and that helped a bit. At least the cars are gone. The last few weeks of the stay-home advice, I've been working at home. Okay, this was posted in 2020, so this was
COVID.
happening during COVID. I've been working from home, but my neighbor's kids are making that really hard. They're about 5 and 7, boys, and they keep ringing my doorbell multiple times a day to ask if they can play with my dog, if I want to play with them, or anything else they can think of. I asked them to stop it so I can work, which of course didn't work. So I asked their parents, and it was told boys will be boys, and they weren't going to do anything about it. To keep my sanity intact, I removed the battery from the doorbell, but now they keep running around in my front yard. on the path around my house, banging on my windows, banging on my doors, and actually tried to open the gate to my backyard this morning as they heard me in there. I once again asked them to stop, told them I will not be allowing them to play with my dog anymore if they keep this up, and they left. Sending over their dad, I told him to keep the boys away from our property and door. If not, I'd be planting some prickly bushes to teach them to stay away from other people's property and shut the door in his face. What do you think so far? I think I would have called the police.
Yeah, I would have called the police because it's the middle of COVID. They shouldn't be on your property in the first place.
Yeah.
But if you have a dog, I have a dog, I wouldn't let the neighbors' kids play with my dog.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be liable for the kids getting hurt or anything.
Yeah, maybe this is a smaller community, so they're a little bit tighter knit, and that could be normal. But also, if you're trying to work and it's a disruptive environment, that's like affecting your entire livelihood.
Yeah.
That's not just annoying. That's like, okay, if I get fired, then how am I going to pay rent?
Yeah,
because
if you've talked to the parents and you have a no trespassing sign, I would just call the cops.
Yeah, just depending where you are.
To give that family a notice.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're from
America.
They said townhouse, so there's
That's not a very American thing, but that could also be anywhere else. I don't know.
It could be like American or British.
British? I haven't seen other British words, so. Okay, we do have an update.
Okay.
About a week after my post, I planted a wall of blackberries and raspberries at the two sides of my garden facing the driveway. I don't know if you've ever mistakenly ran into a blackberry bush as a child. Have you done that?
No.
In this area? Because they're everywhere.
No.
I did it more times than I should have. You think I would have learned. Never did. It's terrible.
And he did warn the dad, that he was going to do this.
He didn't have to either.
No, but this is fully on the parents, whatever happens.
Yeah, like this is just negligence. Their kids are probably bothering this person because they're too bored in their own house.
Their parents don't want to be good parents, so they're
probably like, get out of the house, it's summer, I don't want to deal with you. About a week after my post, I planted a wall of blackberries and raspberries at the two sides of my garden facing the driveway, about 30 centimeters from the edge, so no overhanging branches. Okay. So probably not from the U.S. if we're doing metric system. It could be anywhere but the U.S. if they're that rules out just the United States basically.
It could be Canada.
Canada uses metric half. It just kind of depends.
Both. They use both.
It just depends on certain things. On the other side of the berry wall, I planted lots of stuff like strawberries and tomatoes. To reach the tomatoes and strawberries from the driveway, you have to either go through the fruit bushes or walk up to my house, walk about 2 meters along the side of the house and my windows, and then walk into my actual garden. Not something you can do by mistake. For about 2 weeks, it was somewhat quiet, but I still found the kids on my driveway every single day. As far as I know, they did not enter the garden, and I hadn't noticed them walking around my house anymore, so I figured the bushes were working. About 1 week ago, berry season started, and my bushes are now full of raspberries, and there's lots of strawberries as well. The neighbors noticed. First, I caught the boys picking and eating the raspberries, so I told them off and dropped them off at home. Told their mom I caught them stealing, that's how I see it, even though it's fruit, and that I'd call the cops next time. She huffed and told me to grow up, but took the boys inside anyways.
No, that's 100% stealing.
Also, having the courtesy to, drop them off at their parents' house.
That's above and beyond what you should have done. But no, call the cops immediately with the boy still there stealing. Let them get caught. Let the parents deal with it.
She has a camera, so there's so much proof of it at this point.
Yeah.
After that, it was quiet up until yesterday afternoon, when I went out for a while and found the dad and his two sons right in the middle of my garden when I returned, clearing my bushes and plants. I didn't even confront them, I just called the cops. That was the right move, I think. From a distance, as they hadn't noticed me yet and started filming them after making the call. Luckily, 2 cops showed up about after 10 minutes or so, so they confronted the neighbor as they were still picking berries. They told them they were trespassing and that the berry picking was in fact considered stealing and that I could press charges. For the first time, I noticed a bit of fear in my neighbor. He was having trouble finding his words and kept looking back at his house, I guess hoping his wife would show to yell at the cops. She's not going to protect you.
No.
She's just watching from the window, I'm sure. They all went inside with the cops, so I just went home as well. After a while, the cops came by and asked me if I wanted to press charges. I asked them if I felt like they scared the neighbor enough to stay away. I got a small smile and yes about him, but the wife had just kept shouting at them and her husband about the little bitch living next door. I told them no for now, asked them if I'd be allowed to get an extra camera set up on the wall between my garden and the road to cover the entire front garden plus driveway, and they said that's allowed as long as it's on my side of the wall. So now I'm getting an extra camera installed. One neighbor knows I'm done messing around, but his wife isn't there yet, and if I ever catch any of them again, the cops will be called and possible charges will follow. Yeah, you're being harassed on your own property. You should have called the cops the first time, but
like at this point, it's past harassment. I feel like it's intentional.
Oh yeah,
100%. The stealing clearly intentional.
Yeah, 100%.
No update.
No, 4 years ago. So.
Oh yeah, there's
no update.
The
protect
dad
your berries,
probably
protect your land.
Yeah, the dad probably didn't let his sons go back over to that house.
I'm sure not, but I'm sure the mom was like, "You should go over there and pick those berries."
Hopefully she went and then fell in a bush.
Yeah. I was really hoping one would fall. That's a little bit mean, but
they need to learn not to steal or go on other people's property.
Imagine having like a criminal record because you stole blackberries. Okay, on to the next story from r/am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for pretending to get fired when customers get a temper with me? Have you heard this one?
I haven't, but you're probably not the asshole. Oh, previous one. The guy, OP is not the asshole. The neighbors are the asshole.
I am a high schooler with a weekend job at a coffee shop. My coworkers who work weekends are James, the owner's son. He goes to my school. He's a shift manager, but it's not a real formal thing. He's a friendly guy. Danielle, a college student who sometimes works weekends too. So sometimes customers will come in and just be angry about such little stuff. It's a coffee shop.
Yeah.
That's how it is, unfortunately. Like, literally blow up about nothing. I don't know if they're in a bad mood already and looking for someone to take it out on or what, but it's a lot. So how sad do you have to be a grown-ass man taking your anger out on a high school and college kids? So James and I were joking about having a little fun with them and hopefully getting them off our backs. One day, I was at work and some guy was having a temper about how we didn't make the coffee hot enough, which I couldn't do a thing about because I gave it to him right out of the machine. So James came in and was like, "Sir, is there a problem here?" And the guy started ranting at him too, so he was just like, "OP, this is unacceptable. You're fired." I started acting real sad, like, "Please don't fire me. My mom needs the money. I need this job." He played up being a hard ass, telling me to take off my apron and leave. The angry guy started to backtrack and was like, "It wasn't that big of a problem. You don't need to fire her over it. I didn't mean it." And James was like, "No, we pride ourselves in the best customer service." Of course, after all that drama, I still had my job. We were just acting. And we've done it a couple times. Whenever a customer will lose their temper at Danielle or I, James will storm in and fire us. And almost every time, the person who had come in angry will apologize and say that they didn't mean it. It's kind of satisfying, making people realize that their actions might actually have consequences. Anyway, I was telling my friends from school about this, and a few of them thought it was a mean prank to let someone go away thinking they'd gotten someone who desperately needed money fired. So am I the asshole for this joke? No.
No, not at all.
I think
those
more
customers,
people do this.
if you can call them customers, they deserve that. There's no reason for them to yell at someone That's not even something they can control, and that's just ridiculous.
I worked retail, I worked food service, all as a teenager, and there's no one meaner than someone mad about their personal things, like
Mm-hmm.
having a service done from a teenager. Like, I had money thrown up my face and chipped my glasses. That was the last day that I worked at that fast food restaurant. I had unthawed bacon thrown at me when I worked at a retail store. It's a lot, and I think people just need to. I think mandatory is 6 months food service or retail. I push more food service because it's a little worse, but mandatory, you need to be there because if you've never worked it, then you don't realize how things work and you automatically assume that the person you're talking to controls the whole company. Like, sir, if I was the CEO of this Dollar General or something, like, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I don't control this.
Neither would that person be shopping at a Dollar General ever.
Exactly. Dollar General's gonna send me a cease and desist after this one. I did not work at a Dollar General. It's just
It's
the
like
first thing I thought of.
the people who get mad at the server for something wrong with their food.
Yeah,
Like,
they're just bringing it to you.
yeah,
Because when
they're
you
not
work
the
there,
cook.
you realize that they don't do anything besides that.
They
Okay.
probably put it in correct. The cooks usually just don't care.
Yeah, they're just. It is what it is, and I'm hopefully will never have to work with the people and the public again because nothing has made me more insane.
Oh, the public is horrible.
Especially during COVID. It was crazy. Okay, on to our next one from r/am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for being really petty and tearing up a card my stepsister made me?
What type of card?
We'll see.
Yeah.
My mom married my stepdad around 8 years ago. He had a daughter of his own who was a year older than me. We were pretty damn happy for a long time, and my stepsister and I were really close. I can't speak today. Things changed a few years ago. Her mom moved back to the state and gained some custody. Her mom is from a wealthy family and is a doctor herself. So she is really annoying now. She constantly mocks my mom and dad for not being as rich as her mom. She also treats my mom like shit and constantly belittles her. My mom has an accent and she makes fun of her for it. She is almost an adult and she is still such an asshole to my mom who loves her a lot. My sister was visiting us and she was bragging about her laptop her mom bought her. I would have just ignored it, but then she asked my mom what laptop I use, and she couldn't have imagined how shitty her life would have been if her mom hadn't moved back and she didn't realize how miserable she had been. I told her to shut up and I tried to move on, but I just couldn't do it. I was so fucking angry. It has been 2 years of non-stop bullshit that my mom just puts up with. I really wanted to get back at her, so I grabbed this cute card she had made for my birthday years ago. I had kept it because she had put a ton of effort into it. I just tore it up and threw it next to her door. I really, really regret it. That card meant a lot to me. It really did, and I destroyed it even though she doesn't care about me anymore. She saw it, and she is not speaking to anyone in the house, and she looks really shocked, and I feel miserable. Even though she is an asshole a lot, I still miss listening to her talk, and I regret this. My mom and stepdad think I didn't think things clearly, and I shouldn't have reacted the way that I did. He has talked to her and grounded her for speaking to mom that way, and I feel like an asshole for destroying something I hold a lot of value to.
Hmm.
I think not the asshole, but also it seems like you are
Confused.
a teenager
Yeah.
and probably can't rationalize very intense emotions very well. Um, so probably shouldn't have done that. And
No.
I don't think this person needs anyone to tell them that. I think they know, but also I think that probably did strike a nerve with the sister, and maybe she's thinking a little harder about it now.
I mean, the sister's definitely the asshole.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, not OP.
Not at all, but I think that maybe she's thinking now that she saw that, it's like, oh yeah, we used to be really close, and now I'm being a, like, terror, and maybe I need to stop it. But I've always said this, there's nothing meaner than teenage girls, and hopefully they can get over this and have some conversations, and she's gonna look back at how she treated her family and really wish that she didn't, or she's gonna continue to be like that, and that's her own loss.
If they do make up, it would probably be a year or two. I don't think it's something that would happen.
They're gonna be like in their 20s.
Yeah, it would
by the
be
time they're
after college,
yeah,
probably.
But
that's not something.
It does suck because then there's that like entire time that they could have been close and had a relationship. But I feel bad for the mom out of everyone.
Oh yeah, she's trying her best to be a good mother and she has an ungrateful daughter.
It has to be hard to. I mean, not hard, but it's different when you are with someone that has their own children that aren't yours. And I'm not saying it's hard, but like you are accepting someone that like is already to this certain age and treating them as your own and doing everything that you would do for your own kids for them, and then they treat you like that.
Yeah, it would be very frustrating.
Yeah.
And props to her for keeping it together and being a great mother throughout that.
Yeah, she shouldn't have to deal with that. I feel terrible.
She deserves better. So does the dad and the...
They all deserve better. Yeah. On to the next one. We have from r/petty revenge. Entitled Parker parked in my driveway, so I blocked them in and got drunk all weekend. This reminded me of you, not because you drink or anything, but I feel like this is just something you would do to someone.
It's in the same vein as block them in and call the cops.
Yeah.
This is just a lot more like, screw you.
Yeah.
You call the cops when you're sober, after the long weekend.
You can be drunk at your own house.
Yeah.
Like, no one's stopping you. Friday night, I came home from work to find someone on our block was having a large party, and someone decided they were entitled to park in my driveway. Keep in mind, my driveway is a single car width lined with a retaining wall on both sides and a garage at the end. Essentially impossible for a tow truck to come and pull them out without property damage. That sucks, and it also... If it was like a really big driveway, I could almost understand, but it's obviously for one car.
If you have a retaining wall on both sides, then what are you doing? There's no room.
Yeah.
To go,
you don't park at other people's houses. Especially,
no, you don't even park in front of other people's houses on the street.
Yeah, like especially in the U.S., people are protecting their property with berry bushes. And
the prickly thorns are going to get the tires.
Yeah. But it's worse that it was a one-car driveway to me. Like, that's just so...
But no, 100% block them in.
Yeah.
Right? Get a friend to take you to work for the foreseeable future.
Like, wow,
so they're just screwed out of that car.
Seeing this and the lack of street parking, I took this as a cue to park right behind them in my driveway. Now, a few hours go by and they're entitled parkers now knocking at my door demanding I move my car so she can leave. Nope. Seeing as they were demanding, I informed them that I had been drinking and I would not move my car. The entitled parker then decides to call the police to get them to force me to move. When the police knocked on my door, I was sure to grab a beer from the fridge before I answered to talk to the officer. I informed him that after I got home, I was unwinding and had been drinking and was in no shape to drive. At this point, their hands were tied because they couldn't tow her car out. I'm in no shape to drive, and I'm legally parked in my driveway. I ended up telling the entitled parker that since it had been a long weekend, I would be on a weekend-long bender, and they would have to come move my car after I go to work on Tuesday. Yeah, I love this.
What can the cops do?
Nothing. I think maybe if it was a larger driveway to where like there was no property damage, they could probably just...
But you're not pulling through the yard.
Yeah.
You pull through the yard, I'm going to call the cops on you for property damage.
Call the cops on the cops. Yeah,
But I understand why that's a finicky situation, because you are technically holding that person's property hostage,
yeah,
right?
I think that's kind of a gray area where
but
you just like...
they were trespassing in the first place. You could get their car towed if you wanted.
Yeah, definitely.
The cops could get the keys from the person, pull their car to the street, get it towed,
They could, but like,
But can they make you let the car go?
I don't think so. I think they were probably just like womp womp, sucks for
Yeah.
you.
It would probably
Um,
depend on your local laws on that. That'd be
Local laws,
interesting.
and also if the cops care enough, because if they're coming up
Oh
and she's
yeah, no, yeah.
obviously just like losing her mind,
Like if I was a cop, I'd be giving the trespasser a ticket for trespassing,
like,
and then not care that they're blocked in.
okay. Our next story is also very similar from r/petty revenge. Want to block my driveway, officer? It's gonna be another minute or two on the coffee. About a decade ago, I worked an early morning shift at a fast food restaurant. We opened at 6 a.m., so I had to be at work at 5 a.m. I would leave my house about 4:45 every morning. My management was pretty relaxed about the opening shift. Clocking in up to 10 minutes late wasn't really an ordeal, as long as you showed up ready to go. I came outside at 4:45 to find that a local police officer had pulled someone over and is now blocking my driveway. This has happened before, but normally in the afternoon, and normally I just ask the officer to move forwards or back a couple of feet, and then I can pull in or out of the driveway. No sweat. This officer, however, angrily informs me that I will have to wait until he's done. I snap a picture of his car, text it to my manager, and explain my tardiness. 40 minutes later, the police officer finally moves. I scramble into my car and head to work. I get there 15 minutes before we open. I frantically start to brew tea, fetch ice, and having to condense my 50-minute routine into 15. I almost forgot to brew coffee. Opening time rolls around, and the first group of customers come in. It's a group of our local police officers, led by the captain. I guess they were about to do a shift change. One of the officers in the group is the one who blocked my driveway. Anyway, the captain orders coffee, and I regretfully inform him that there's about a 5-minute wait on the coffee because I got to work extremely late. Captain asks why, so I pull out my phone and explain that one of his officers blocked my driveway for 45 minutes for a routine traffic stop. Captain proceeds to chew out that officer in front of all of his colleagues and explains that nothing short of a life or death emergency should block my driveway if it will interfere with him getting his morning coffee.
I agree with that.
It was never blocked again, and the captain always got his coffee at 6 a.m. without interruption. I almost want to believe this is like not a real story.
No, I hope that's
but I
real.
really hope it's real.
Because that officer definitely deserved to get chewed out in front of like the other officers like that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. And
Don't mess with
there's like
Rose
other people there
coffee.
too
Oh,
that
yeah.
are watching this happen.
Well, if they were the first people to come in. Okay, this is a very lengthy one from r/petty revenge. You can tell at the point which I discovered this subreddit and decided that the rest of the stories should be from there.
Revenge.
Because I'd already picked out the theme and I was like, oh wait, there's better. Okay. This one is called I Put Vegetables in All of My Food to Stop My Roommate's Kid from Eating It. Mom Threatens Legal Action.
No. No. What legal action?
We'll see. I, 26 female, live in a rented house with a single mother, 30 female, and her son, 6 male.
Are they both renting the house or is OP renting it from the mom?
I don't know. I had another person living with me, but they moved out and the mother moved in. So I'm assuming they're all just like renting. I don't mind living with her and her kid. It's fine, and we kind of do our own thing. I spend a lot of time at my boyfriend's place or working. Our work schedules collide, so we really don't interact much, but when we do, it's fine. No issue there. I want to start with saying that she clearly struggles financially, but I don't think it's an excuse. I don't make a lot of money either. However, I've noticed that my food would go missing or portions would be taken from it. I assumed it was her kid, so I asked her if she'd stop him from eating my food. I was calm about it, and she said that she would. It didn't really upset me when it first started. It started getting annoying when I'd get home from work and expect to have a meal's worth of leftovers in the fridge to see it picked through or just gone. Also, children are disgusting when they eat.
Yeah, I would throw the rest of it away.
Yeah,
charge the mom.
Especially if you don't
for
know
the
this
food.
kid.
Yeah, charge the mom for the food because that is stealing.
Yeah, when you're just like living and you're
That's-
renting together and you really just like don't know each other, that's
No.
kind of when it gets to this point. I would be like,
That's disgusting.
I kept bringing it up, and she started getting annoyed with me about bringing it up. Just from observing them, I realized that neither of them ever eat vegetables. I'm sorry, that sentence got me.
A character flaw.
And judging by the food that would get picked through and the food that would be untouched, anything with green in it is avoided. Orange chicken would be gone, but the chicken and broccoli would be untouched. So I started putting vegetables in everything. I find vegetables to be delicious. You're getting a better diet just with this.
Yeah,
to begin with,
vegetables are
so,
very delicious.
very good. And anything green or not a potato does not get eaten.
Not a potato.
Not a potato.
Potatoes aren't vegetables, let's be honest.
They are a vegetable, but they're a root
No.
vegetable, so it's different.
Fries are... You can't tell me a fry's a vegetable.
It's not.
But it's a potato.
It's different. No, that's different. Are you gonna tell me that stir fry is vegetable? No,
It has vegetables in it.
it is. So,
But all stir
French
fry
fry-
has vegetables in it.
yes, but French fries all have potatoes in them, but it is not a potato. It's made of potato.
Still has potato.
Yes, but it doesn't mean a French fry is a potato. It is made from that. Anyways, I digress. I'm right. You were wrong. So I could mix some bell peppers into the food and it would be fine. I make a big portion of vegetables pretty frequently anyways, so I just started putting it in everything that I eat. If I had leftover mashed potatoes, I'd pour green beans in it and mix it up. If I had leftover cheesy bacon fries, I'd pour broccoli all over it and mix it in. This all sounds like really good.
No, roasted broccoli with cheesy bacon fries
I just
actually
like
sounds
broccoli.
really good.
I like broccoli, even if it's like not cooked. That's fine with me.
I think you'd have to roast it if you're going to mix it with like bacon and
Yeah,
peas.
probably.
That does sound good.
Usually my homemade stuff has vegetables in it, but I started making sure everything did. I made a pot of mac and cheese, the kids' favorite thing, and poured roasted Brussels sprouts. That would make me mad.
No,
I would be
Brussels sprouts are
stingy.
good.
I don't like them. No. Get those tiny cabbages out.
They're
of
so
my
much
kitchen.
better.
No. Bad. Okay, which is literally delicious to me, and I'm eating more vegetables, so it's a win-win. She had been seeming annoyed, but we were all home when I made the pot of mac and cheese. She was in the living room and saw me get out the Brussels sprouts, and was like, "What are you going to do with that?" And I poured them in. She said I was being greedy and annoying. I just said, I just like Brussels sprouts. And that was it. She said, we need food. I told her to go get some.
Yeah.
Or stop buying only prepackaged things and your money will go further. Okay, why was her first assumption that you're doing this to stop them from eating it?
Because she knows she's admitting guilt.
Like,
That
wouldn't be my first assumption.
No, I don't expect like a roommate to buy me food.
No.
No, that's
Like, I understand
weird.
it gets, like, to a weird situation with, like, condiments. But, like,
Yeah.
usually you're just like, oh, I used a bunch of this, I'll get you the next bottle. Like,
Yeah, and then like
And
if
it's
you,
like
if you
$3,
cook like
so
a
you're
family
fine.
dinner for you and your roommates, usually everyone pitches in,
Yeah.
to buy the ingredients, and then it's fine, right? But like
Yeah.
if I buy like steak and potatoes or something and I cook it, I don't want my roommate to just eat like the leftovers of that.
there are
At
some
least
people
pay me back
that,
for
like,
it.
truly struggle with boundaries about things. And I don't know if it's just me, but I'm really weird about my things. I don't like my things to be touched. And I'm, like, okay with it to a certain extent where I realize that people don't mean anything bad by it. But there are certain people that just, like, I've seen stories of people be like, yeah, I came home, my roommate just, like, had my clothes on.
Oh, that's no, we're fighting.
Like, I
someone
would
did that.
lose my shit.
Yeah.
I would lose my mind. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could stay a free man.
So
I
here's a good question. Do we think the mom can cook? I feel like she can't.
Maybe she can't, but
And
also
that's fine. Pay OP to like buy the food
yeah,
for
maybe
OP
if
and
she
pay
wants to
OP
take
to cook,
over
right?
the grocery bill or like the groceries
Mm-hmm.
and like setting all of that up. But like I don't know. I grew up in poverty and I sure know when I was really hungry, I wasn't like, ew, Brussels sprouts. I mean, I was a little bit because I'm a little bit special, but
You'd probably go out and eat the grass.
probably. But it's just like, okay, if you're wanting someone to pay for your food, don't complain. Eat what you're given.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that poor people don't deserve food that they like. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying pick your
No, but if you're
fucking thing.
stealing the food, at least eat it, whether or not it has vegetables in it or not.
Yeah, I think
Don't
they
be picky
need
about
it
something
if
you
they're
get
eating
like you're
prepackaged
stealing.
stuff every meal.
Yeah,
You need your Brussels sprouts at this point.
and you know what? I guarantee. Obviously, OP shouldn't have. It's not her responsibility to talk to the kid about it. It's the mom's
Yeah.
responsibility, and you know that mom said nothing to that kid. The mom
No.
doesn't care.
I'm sure. And like also, if you're in the US and you can't afford food, you can get food stamps.
Yeah.
I used to be on food stamps and I loved it. It's great. A lot of people are eligible for food stamps and like cuz the income rate is relatively high. Even if it's like $25, you can still get it and that's $25 of your paycheck you didn't spend on food. And I would say if you can do it, do it. There are like community pantries like everywhere now. Even in like my smallish town, we have them like every couple blocks basically. And there's like what is it? Food pantries you can go to like once a month.
There's soup kitchens.
Yeah. I'm like if you're really
that
struggling
serve every single night for free. Anyone could go there.
if you're really struggling, I mean, when I was growing up struggling, I never stole people's food, at least. There are other options for you to not act like this. I think she sees this as some big act of revenge, but I just simply want to be able to eat my food.
Yeah.
Also, want to add that the sharing is not an issue. It's expecting to have food there, and it's not. So often I'd be working a long day and get home expecting to have a meal's worth of food, and it will all be gone. Or I wake up in a rush and I have to have my food ready to eat in the morning, only to find it gone. So now I have to skip breakfast. If she would simply text sometimes, hey, is it okay if we eat food item? I would know and know to make other plans. I would stop for food or know I have to whip up something when I get home. Also, I think eating the last of someone's food is crazy and rude.
Ask.
Agreeable. If someone makes a big pot of something and you ask for a serving, sure. But if someone made something and there's one serving left and you eat it without permission, that is evil as hell. I agree. Never, do not mess with my leftovers. Do not mess with my food. Like, you could, like, break into my room and, like, steal my credit card and, like, put me into unrecoverable debt. But if you eat my leftovers and I am expecting to get those leftovers, I am losing my shit. This is a warning. To you.
I don't eat your food.
You've never eaten my food.
I never eat the last
I usually
food.
offer you my food because I can't finish it.
It's not just you. Most of my friends will just not eat all their food, and I just get the leftovers.
I can't eat a ton at once. I struggle. Update. So, I've been steadfast with putting vegetables in everything. Put vegetables into things I've never even thought of. This has carried on, and the mom calls me a jerk, but I will not verbalize that she is eating my food. She just sees me making lasagna and adding celery and bell peppers and the layers of fumes off to
God
the
forbid
side.
you make a lasagna with bell peppers.
That's acceptable. I love bell pepper.
I feel like that should be in a lasagna.
Yeah. The only thing I can't add vegetables to is snacks like chips or if I bake brownies or cookies. You can figure it out. You need to
I
figure
feel like
it out.
I've seen someone make brownies with vegetables in it before.
Definitely. I'm sure it's not good.
You probably could with cauliflower because it doesn't have much of a taste.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Make carrot cake brownies with carrots.
You're so right. I love carrot cake.
That's the thing.
Okay. However, this is easily remedied by putting baked goods in a Tupperware and keeping them in my room. Same with chips. As I had previously stated, the sharing is not the issue, which is like already asking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't just assume someone's going to be okay with sharing. You have to
So
ask.
they'll eat potatoes. They won't eat green stuff. What if you just get the vegetable chips that are like green and orange? Do you think they would eat those?
I don't know. I think they're really good, and they're also
they're better.
They're corn puffs that are like flavored as
Mhm.
vegetables. But they probably look at the packaging. Ugh.
But I wonder if that kid would even eat them.
I don't know. Recently, the kid knocked on my door and asked if he could have a bag of microwave popcorn. I said yes and gave him one. All of this would be way less annoying if she just texted, "Hey, can I have some of this?" and waited for my response before just helping herself.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel for the mom because she clearly struggles with cooking and trying new foods. She is older than me and winces at the thought of biting into anything green, and it is spreading to her kid, but it's no excuse. It's like a disease.
It is.
Well, I mean, maybe the mother and the child might have, like, they may be on the spectrum or something and have issues with food, but that is no excuse to treat other people this way,
No.
okay?
And you can always like make a soup. Just throw a whole bunch of stuff into a pot of water.
It's like, find something
Yeah.
that's easy for you. Like, I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I could eat that for every meal, for every day, and that's very cheap food. Like, you've got to find something that you're not stealing from other people.
Yeah.
A few days ago, I was making taco meat out of ground beef, and like usual, she was looking without asking. She was off to the side, watching my every move, but trying to look normal. I made a dish the day before that involved sauteed mushrooms and cut up peppers.
That
So,
sounds good.
when the meat was almost ready, I opened the fridge and she freaked out when she saw me holding the mushrooms. She said, "Son's name hates mushrooms," but I poured them in the pan and mixed along with the cut up peppers. I don't like mushrooms either. I get it, but like,
I like fried or sauteed mushrooms, but I don't
like mushrooms.
I don't like the mushroomy taste, but that usually goes away when you like cook them. I love the texture.
I like chicken of the
that
woods.
Bite
That
is so nice.
That is my mushroom that I like because it doesn't. I mean, it tastes like a mushroom, but it's like
mushroom Alfredo pasta.
It's
so good.
It can be cooked in a way that it's not as mushroomy. Morels are also pretty okay.
Enoki. Fried enoki is really good.
Okay, let's continue. This caused her to react in a way I'd never seen from her before. She was yelling and stomping around the kitchen while the kid just watched. Felt bad for the kid to have to see his mom like that. People were worried about her tampering with my food. I don't think she's the kind to do that, but if she did, I would report that right away. She was flipping out and she didn't snatch my food or knock anything over. She was opening and slamming cabinets, and it was all very silly.
Throwing a tantrum.
Basically.
Like a child.
And the kid's just standing there like, huh? What? Then she started going off about how she is going to get the authorities involved.
Oh, okay.
I told her, sure, and that she needs to relax. She seemed genuinely upset and stressed, and I told her that I understand being a single mom is hard, but she needs to use her government assistance more responsibly. I just said this. Like, we just went over that. She'll come home with cold mac and cheese, sushi, and chicken from grocery store prepared foods, and
Walmart sushi.
All of it on that. Okay, Walmart sushi, I ate when I was, like, on food stamps because it was, like, there, and it's, like, the EBT approved thing, and I was like, this is so good. It is like the McDonald's chicken nugget of store-prepared sushi. Like, literally
fried.
Go over 5 minutes to a Kroger, a Publix. Where else do they have it? Food
Publix
City?
will, if the person is there, Publix will make it right there in front of you.
Sam's Club has it now, too.
Yeah, the Sam's Club sushi is really good.
We're tangenting, but, like, I can't get over how I was like, this is the best thing I've ever had. And then I had real,
Mm-hmm.
not even real sushi, but real store prepared sushi. And it was
it's
really
not
good.
much more expensive than Walmart.
It's like
sushi.
$8, $8-9 per like serving, I
Yeah,
would say.
and Publix is like
Um,
14 for like 12 pieces or 14 pieces. It's not
but yeah,
bad.
she
It's like
needs
$1 a
to
piece.
regulate her money more and not push this on other people. I suggested food pantries and buying ingredients that last a while, like potatoes. She said I was being condescending and that I always have food to eat. This is to address the just make a portion of your food and set it to the side for her and her kid. I do not make enough money to regularly feed two other people. If every now and then she asks for some of my leftovers, sure, but this is a consistent thing that was happening. It's not simple. It's not as simple as giving her the leftovers that I won't eat anyways. If I make a pot of something and I expect to live off of that for the next few days, if it is eaten, then my money is messed up and I have to go shopping again or budget for more food, waste my time and money. Exactly. Is she going to be
Yeah.
able to file her taxes this next upcoming year and claim these two people as a dependent? Because if
She
not,
should.
maybe don't fucking touch other people's food. Holy shit.
I mean, what the woman calls the cops. OP explains it to the cops. The mom's going to get in trouble.
We have a visitor. Hello. Say hello, Sushi.
She is purring very loudly.
Very loud lady. Okay. Well, if you have listened or watched this far, thank you so much. Remember, we do have video on Spotify and YouTube if you want to give that a look. And if you have any stories that you personally have or an update to something I missed, anything you think is interesting, please send it to my Instagram at Down That Rat Hole Pod. I desperately want to do a listener submission episode, so please do that. And remember to follow because the cat is like squirming. Remember to follow, please. That helps us a lot. Say bye.
Bye.